Why, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another brand new video. And I just want to say before we continue on by with this video, and of course, the usual I would say right now is that I do kind of feel like making a video exactly that I probably had never noticed exactly, or if this case now I probably will be mentioning about some kind of I don't know, some video I've never probably would have said anything based by any chance already is that I'll say this is what is a Clippy? Well, what a Clippy is, by the way, that I'm gonna probably just explain it for like my pretty much my Devin-Foxy Sonic fans exactly that pretty much does enjoy the Sonic community is that basically I'll say this right now exactly is what it is, by the way, is I'll tell you guys this is what does a Clippy mean. A Clippy means is that basically it's pretty much about like some, I don't know, some kind of like protest or something, or maybe just a symbol exactly that it's just only here to help exactly. And yeah, it's about like the olden days exactly when Clippy was a bit like kind of useful, but not in a slow, different kind of term as I actually will thought of the idea by saying this is that, basically, I did probably say this right now that I probably would want to make this video exactly just for something important. Is that, I probably will say this is that no, I have not heard anything of a Clippy before that actually would say by any chance by now what a Clippy does and refers to exactly is just something kind of like something kind of like something that might probably be a bit useful exactly, or maybe in fact it's just like a symbol exactly, and it's just pretty much something exactly like, it's about like whatever, of course, exactly, which I probably have to say in my opinion what that is, by the way, is that sometimes even if I get trouble with my words a little bit, but like I said, it's just a little bit interesting. I've never heard anything of a Clippy before, to be honest with everybody. Is that no, I have not know what a Clippy is. Even if I know what a Clippy is, then it's exactly why I want to be talking about this topic a little bit, since it's just something that we might as well have to be talking about something very completely important. And yes, by the way, I actually will say this that I side with the people exactly, not AI exactly, which by the way, I just want to make this important, just for something very small opinion talk for something very little and something not going to be too up the bounce exactly, not too up the bounce of the barrel exactly or anything. But this, by the way, I just want to come on by and just kind of like let people know exactly what's going on, exactly why everybody should probably be knowing what's going on exactly is because it's about like the YouTube's AI update thing, which is completely most likely a waste of time exactly and a little bit kind of bad, in my opinion, which it's just kind of a bit bad. And for example, that I probably will save that for later, exactly for that talk, exactly of that conversation later about that explanation. But let's just say that I might actually just explain this here exactly that for most people that do or don't know exactly is just don't kind of fall for it exactly. Just don't fall for however the IDs or blah 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 blah, or pretty much like the scan thing, or just like the scan like the age or anything or whatever. But again, it's just completely a little bit dumb in my opinion. And why is that? It's just because it's just kind of worth wasting. It's just kind of worth like just kind of worth wasting what it's been wasted exactly, which it's just pretty stupid because it's just a very bad thing that most likely, however, exactly, it's just a little bit dumb. And also, if I were myself, everybody, is please go to the petition exactly and just save YouTube and have it to make a redecision exactly and redecision their about like redecisioning or something exactly, which in fact, I by the way will say this is I hope everybody does understand that, I just hope again that hopefully I just don't get hit by it or something, which I just hopefully don't exactly, because again, I do care about my channels exactly. I do care about my channels from first all the way from a lot more exactly because I just spend a lot of time and just enjoy videos, what I like exactly, and for however exactly how amazing I make them. And just to be honest with everybody, I definitely enjoyed one hell of an amazing ride for pretty much for everybody to enjoy. Like literally anything that I enjoyed for a lot, making a lot great things of this exactly, which I did never expected that it was just so pretty low just for that to be happening on that announced thing exactly, which yeah, everyone is gonna be mad. Everyone's gonna be mad and pretty very much mad. Which for me I probably will agree since I am saying again I would rather side with the people, not with the AI, which I'm not siding with that either because people, by the way, need to stand up, which, even if it is the Sonic community too, that also needs to stand up for this, which, by the way, it's just a little bit redundant and it's just a little bit, just a bit cruel in my opinion. It's just a bit cruel, which I'm not saying the word cool, I'm saying the word cruel, which means it's just not the way how that works exactly, which by any chance already is that I think people should be a lot more, independentable exactly of knowing what's going on about this exactly, of course, which by any chance, I hope, by the way, that everything gets likely resolved and hopefully things will just be fixed exactly, which I'm only just making this a little talk exactly of me just saying that it's just wild, it's just crazy that it's not in a good way, it's just not that funny, which, by the way, it's just disgraceful, and if I were myself right now, I probably would have said this exactly, it's just that I probably would rather cancel the whole thing, and if I were on their shoes, but if I wasn't, that's fine, which simply, again, it's just, it's just a little bit nerve-wracking, it's just a little nerve-wracking, and it's just, yeah, it's just a little kind of bit off. That, it's just kind of a little off. In my opinion, that it's just kind of a little off for what YouTube's ever doing, which sometimes, like I said, I just wish that things just were probably would be a lot more interesting and more exciting, exactly, which most users actually are excited on some videos at some time ago, exactly like way back. I'm not talking about the present. I'm talking about like way, way, way more awesome, way back in the times, exactly for whatsoever. But let me just say this, by the way, of my opinion of the Clippies, that the Clippies, I hope the Clippies might help exactly, which if I'm right or not, that's probably fine by me if they're actually pretty good, which I hope, by the way, that something would happen exactly that, hopefully, like I said again, about like, I don't know, some kind of protest that might go on exactly if it keeps on abling this with the update exactly that's going on recently that clearly hopefully in most current things I could say that I probably would be a bit wise and a bit careful to say exactly and just say this exactly is that I hope everybody just spread the word and just pretty much rise exactly from pretty much likely to stay up exactly. I mean, there's like three things that people could do in the community of the Sonic community, which I don't know if anybody in the Sonic community or pretty much likely anybody in the Sonic community will probably take the stand exactly and might probably say that it probably would say is like, when is it enough is enough. By saying is like, when will be enough is enough. By actually just like just telling YouTube that it's just not right. It just doesn't suit with anybody. It just doesn't suit the T exactly or anything. That, yeah, like I said, it's still saved for another topic. It's saved for something else that will be saved a lot less more exactly to be talked relevancy or something or relevancy by any chance by now. So This, by the way, I'm only talking about Clippies. That's all I'm asking, and that's all I'm saying is that, yeah, I do hope the Clippies actually do work exactly, and I can't believe one YouTube channel actually just decided to make a profile exactly that decided to add like a Clippy. Like the very Clippy that is more like an assistant or something that tries to help you exactly like, I don't know, like write something or just literally anything at this point, which it's just beyond a bit crazy. And I'll actually admit that it's pretty crazy and it's just pretty interesting in my only way I can say that. Like, it's just interesting. I never knew the fact, by the way, that I can say this, by the way. I never knew the fact that how crazy it is and how much I can say that is just wild and nuts. That's all I can say for however exactly. But, like I said, I think the Clippies are pretty actually good. Like, Clippies are cool. Like, they're pretty nice. Like, I'll admit that the Clippies are good, which, by the way, I hope that more users actually do that exactly and spread the word and pretty much likely be against its verification of its age verification thing, which I hope most people actually will continue doing more and pretty much boycotting YouTube exactly and just tell them that pretty much people could like do a few options exactly to think about like sending like feedbacks exactly by actually going to their email exactly and just explain the fact about like I don't know, just explain about the whole scenario with the pretty much the AI exactly that either A that pretty much people can like respond to them exactly, positively or express some concerns exactly or just maybe just go with the middle and just say is like by saying is like like make them decide their decision or probably like go to the politician exactly just go to the politician thing exactly and just like I don't know, spread the word and just like get everybody to kind of like talk on this exactly, which I don't know if anybody will probably be able to talk on this exactly. Like, for example, I'm probably am doing a bit of research while actually looking into this, which I probably am kind of like doing a bit of research as I'm going with all this, but I just want people to kind of understand exactly it's just be aware what's going to go on with the 13th exactly just be aware what's going to happen because I don't know it's going to like affect any of like my separate channels or anything, which by the way I just hope by the way that it's going to kind of backfire. The AI thing exactly that YouTube's doing on the 13th is just I really do hope that most people agree, which I actually say that a lot of people more agree, which I think to say we all probably know that everyone actually is correct. That everyone actually is going to say that YouTube's just going to fail the AI thing that's going to probably go down, which by the way, I just have to say that it's just so low for what kind of a company that continues to do their site exactly, which just kind of stinks. Which, if I were myself right now, I probably would have like I'm not very much like really into kind of a business guy myself. I'm just not into kind of that thing exactly. Which even if I would or probably would consider condone to say is like, oh, but it seems like how I could go for business practices and blah 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 blah. Which again, I'm more of an entertainer, not more of like a business person. I'm just more of an entertainer myself. That I just like to entertain people. I just like to make people laugh, make people feel happy, and make them feel welcome and feel a bit entertained exactly by pretty much how I do voices on my channel, my second channel. But just so everybody knows exactly is that I hope the boycott does continue exactly and keep going on at it until YouTube stops exactly, or maybe start thinking to ourselves and just we look exactly for what they are doing exactly right now. That's pretty much what I can say. Which, by the way, I just hope people actually have a voice to make the opinions, to talk exactly how they feel and their concerns exactly, which I definitely could agree a lot more and very much likely to side with the people, which I will say that I do side with the people. And pretty much more often I will say that, yeah, I hope that things, by the way, might actually backfire YouTube exactly and just get them to not like, pretty much like we add the thing exactly with like, just add the AI thing, which I just hope again that something, like I said, is just gonna happen, which I just hope it's just gonna like fall exactly and just plant it face down exactly. I just hope it's just gonna like double down and just fall down exactly, or pretty much whatever. But like I said, keep talking about it, which I probably want everybody else to consider to say the same thing and just say same or something new exactly that might probably surprise even some people exactly that consider talking on this, which, by the way, like I said, I hope people actually understand, even in the Sonic community that I actually do in my second channel, which, by the way, I hope anybody can talk about any of this, which it's just got to end. It's just got to stop what YouTube's doing, and it's just not right, and it's just an invasion of privacy. Like, it's just very, very much likely impossible. Like, it's just very dead wrong. It's just freaking dead wrong, which is just a little stupid. But yeah, that's just what I kind of want to talk about here. And yes, by the way, the Clippies, by the way, are pretty nice. I'll admit that it's pretty cool. Like, one channel actually made it, and it's just interesting. It's like very interesting at the same time, but I probably will say this fairly more exactly as I hope everybody does again. Enjoy this video while I'm talking about this, but yeah, I hope everybody spreads the word, and I hope everybody actually just like kind of talks about this more exactly and keep talking about it more exactly and just see where all this goes. And I'm not sure if any of that will probably be affected or anything, which I just hope everybody will probably be aware what's going to go happening exactly, because I mean, there probably will be three things for people to understand what they also need to do pretty much likely carefully and correctly, pretty much in the pattern. Like, it's like a pattern. Like, for me, for example, I'm not very sure how am I going to make a pattern for this, but exactly. But let me say this. First one is stand up exactly. That's the first one to say that exactly. Is either stand up and fight for what's right exactly, and just refuse by actually telling pretty much likely YouTube exactly to say the word no exactly and not pretty much do that, which again, it's just kind of a little bit suspicious. If I were myself, it's just a bit suspicious or whatsoever, but pretty much. And usually I don't talk about most of these things all the time. I usually don't talk about most of it, but when it comes to something like this, it's just, yeah, it's just something I probably never expected this to be any possible, but this is a little similar to exactly on side on neither end, exactly from the middle that comes around to it. But yeah, not a very smart move that YouTube's doing. Not a smart move, and it's just bad practice. It's just freaking bad, exactly. Like, hell, it's just so freaking bad. Like, I don't get how impossible this could still go on, but I just hope people spread the word. Like, lots of people to spread the word, exactly, and just kind of talk about it and just say what's got to be right, exactly, and pretty much that's all I want to say. And then here's the second part with the B exactly is okay. So B, huh? So the B one is exactly, I'll say this is B exactly, of course, is that just I don't know. I was gonna probably say something exactly, which A, of course, was just about like it's just like pretty much fight for what's right, and then also for B, let's just say that B, by the way, is that I was gonna say that B, by the way, is that just whatever exactly. I was meant to say something, but me sometimes. I'm just gonna have a pretty much like some concern, pretty much like some disabilities of myself, which I probably do exactly. So don't blame me if I have that. But let's just say that B, by the way, will probably instantly will be is like just like wait exactly, which I was meant to say that part, which I meant to say was like wait and see what happens and see what actually will happen exactly for like the good thing exactly. It's just wait. It's just wait for something until something's good and something happens naturally, but I don't know, but that could probably lead to either which way it is. And then also, of course, let's just say that the last one would be C, by the way, that I'll say the word C, is that C, by the way, would probably be is like not like say anything or whatever, but I think those are like my three only options for people that people would have to do exactly. It's just either A, it's like stand up and fight for what's right and pretty much likely, just like get pretty much likely this to probably be like, you know, disappeared, exactly like the update disappearing, which hopefully naturally that something could happen that we pretty much us creators and communities need to probably be talking about most of all that, which by the way, I don't know how I probably could say any of this would be expected or unexpected to be originally unexpected here, but yeah, again, it's just impossible, man. I don't know what else to say, but all I can say right now, it's just a sad, disappointing day, and I just hope that everybody could probably just not be fooled by any of this, which, like I said, if anybody never gets fooled by that, well, then congratulations. But if it is, well, then that sucks to be you, but whatever. So, anyways, all like I said again is support the Clippies and pretty much likely continue what's fine for right exactly. And oh yeah, keep continuing the talk of the conversation, which I hope people still continue talking about it nonstop, which I hope more people still spread the word. Like big YouTubers should do it, which I will say that more times than ever, that please, we need bigger YouTubers to talk about this. Even bigger Sonic tubers need to talk about this too. Seriously, literally need to talk about it, which I'm not like saying no offense or anything, which I'm just trying to be nice and respectful, which I always have been respectful and very generously respectful to some people, which it depends of however I've always been nicer to people, which I've always have exactly. When I say something nice, it means I'm just trying to be very respectful, but if I'm not exactly, that's just when I'm like, just think of something else, and then I'll still like give some others some chances or something like that to be even nicer, to redeem, to be nicer. But if it still isn't, that's what I'm gonna say is like, no, that's not happening, man. That's not gonna happen today or any other day. That's just not happening. But like I said, I just hopefully say this, that the Clippies are nice and awesome, and oh yeah, go ahead and by the way, continue to like support the Clippies and just make a rise and make a stand and just do whatever exactly. But even if I don't come up with some best advices, that's fine. But for me exactly, I just hope to watch to see if anything else happens exactly for what's going to go on exactly. Is that hope the thing gets canceled of the whole scenario of the update gets canceled, and I just hope it really does get canceled. But if not, then hopefully people can still keep trying, but that's all I'm saying. But whatever. But anyways, without further ado, I'm Devin-Foxy Remastered, and like I said again, I've been very careful to say what I gotta say is just be careful. So hey, I mean at least I tried being careful, and that's all I'm saying is that at least I'm trying to be careful. I'm just trying to be respectful and be very, very respectful here. But without further ado, without that being said, even if I don't come up with the best advices, that's fine. I'm still at least trying to make some best advices to go on with anyway. But without further ado, folks, without that being said now, is that without further ado, y'all, that I am, and I wants to say again that I'm the voice behind Knuckles and Big Knuckles, Uganda Knuckles, and most likely other voices of the Sonic characters and non-Sonic characters. Definitely go ahead and again subscribe to my second channel, and that will be pretty much be amazing. And we could probably be reaching to 800 subscribers if we ever make it to 800 subscribers, but I hope so by the end of the time or whatever. But it's fine either way, whatever goes and whatever comes and goes, exactly, that's fine, but whatever. So without further ado, I hope everybody in the Sonic community kind of actually see what's going to go on exactly, or any community that happens. But without further ado, and without that being said, it's time I'm going to get going. And I will say this one more time: is please be sure to give this video a like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. And let's just hope and pray to God. Let's just hope and pray to God that the whole thing's gonna backfire in the end. It's just gonna probably be like malfunction. It's just gonna be not working. It's just gonna have a physical error. It's just not gonna like work. It's just gonna backfire. It's just gonna be pretty not much good. So, like I said, I'm just betting that hopefully the update's gonna backfire a lot more exactly because I just hope there's gonna be a lot more backfires. I just hope there probably will and just yeah, like I said, I hope so. But in the end of the day, let's just hope and find out and see. But like I said, I'm on the side with the real people. I'm pretty much on the side for real people, not pretty much the other way, exactly on the other side. But at least I tried being fair and being vulnerably fair, exactly on neither side to be considered saying so. But this time, guys, I'm just siding with literally everyone, not the AI. So, like I said. Thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to give this video a like and comment, subscribe to the bell, be notified, and hopefully that we'll see what happens. And also, I want everybody else just to be aware of what's going to happen and just be very cautious and very aware. So, anyways, I'm just going to get going, and thank you guys again for watching. And by the way, by any chance again, I hope everybody enjoys it. So, without further ado, yeah, go ahead and support the Clippies, which that would be amazing. And also go ahead and find that YouTube channel if anybody's ever told me about the name by saying like, oh, what's the name? Well, go ahead and find out who the name was, exactly who created the Clippies. Which, by the way, the dude actually deserves an Oscar, which is a complete genius idea, a very absolute genius, which actually will help, by the way. By changing profiles to a Clippy that actually might be successful and might work in some long runs, but not so much. But until then, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I never seen anything happen like that with Clippies, but man, crazy times we're living in. But hopefully, we're just going to be aware of what happens to near that time. But let's just find out and see what happens and yet again beyond. But without further ado, everyone, it's just time to get going. It's time I wrap this up and definitely get going here. So without further ado, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And like always, is like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. And like always, see you guys again for the next video. And like always, is like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. Thank you. Anyways, see you guys next time. Take care. Sign out and goodbye. Anyway, let's just hope that we won. I hope we win exactly, and hopefully that it's just going to pretty much backfire and actually gets rejected. That the update gets rejected and hopefully just gets disappeared and hopefully just for the safety for everyone exactly, which we got to pretty much be on the aware and very carefully and just be aware of the pattern exactly, just to stay aware exactly without messing one thing exactly or whatever. But that's just what I want to say and just have my free expression and just my thought exactly, and pretty much so. Anyways, hope everybody stays cool and hopefully everyone stays awesome exactly. And keep on enjoying the community of my second channel's community of or should I say, Devin-Foxy Sonic community. And then, of course, the Sonic community itself, which hopefully everybody actually enjoys the video. So, anyways, see you next time, guys. Sign out and goodbye. See you guys for the next video. Signing on out. Later and goodbye. See you guys in the next video. Peace on out. Bye bye, everyone. See you next time.